Japanese in 3 months, day number 13. No big updates today. I've been doing more or less the same thing as the previous days. That is lots of memorization of vocabulary using mnemonic associations, lots of reviewing by listening mostly. Just put the audio files on a playlist on my phone and just listen to them while working out and while doing other things as well. Um, yeah, lots of shadowing, lots of listening and repeating my lines, and then this, which is retrieval practice. This is where I try to translate first from Japanese into English, and once I get good at that, then I'll do English into Japanese, so that I learn to say all those things that I want to say in Japanese. So this is how it works. I'm going to do it live for a while. I've been doing it for a while already, the previous days, but yeah, basically the way it works is we get a sentence in one of the languages and we have to translate it into the other, and then we get the answer. Some of these I've already memorized because they're from previous days. I get 100 new ones every day plus some of the old ones. So eventually it'll just become too much because if I've got 100 new ones and then 500 from previous days, obviously it's just going to be way too much. But I'll still try to do a few hundred every day until it's just an unbearable number. I'll just keep doing what I can because the more practice, the better. And this normally I do it on my phone because I don't want to be on my computer all day. I already spend a lot of time on my computer. So the way we're going to do it is simple. I'll just try to understand it, see if I can guess what it means, and then if I was wrong, then I will create more associations to remember the words next time. So Niryokusuru should be Detta Niryokusuru. This is input. Input the data or something like that. Yeah, input data. Input as a verb. This I visualized it. I created an association. Okay, how can you find something that sounds like Nuryoku? Kind of sounds like a Japanese person saying New York. So I visualize New York, um, or New York, or whatever you Americans say, and yeah, New York, Nuryoku, and then for input, it's easy. What can you because these words tend to be abstract, right? But for something like input, you just visualize Steve Kaufman. Yeah. So when there are words like expressions or like unfortunately or actually or this kind of stuff, abstract concepts or expressions, things like that, they're not a verb of action that you could easily visualize or a noun that's very like dog is easy, right? But for those other words, you have to find something that sounds like that or something that uh, maybe a scene from a film you like in which a scene that you remember really well, in which a character uses that expression or that word, and that will make it memorable. Hmm? For example, how do you visualize now? Now is maybe you can visualize it easily, but for me, the first thing that comes to mind is that scene in Braveheart where he's like, wait, wait, and then it's like now, and then like they pull up the pikes and they kill all the as always English, Mel Gibson movie, all the knights that are charging at them, and I have that scene like they're painted blue, even if that was historically inaccurate, but anyway, that scene is when like whenever I see now I immediately have that image. So you can find an image for not for everything, but for a lot of things. You'll see that for some words I can't really find anything, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. There will always be some words that you can't really visualize, or you can't really find anything for whatever reason. Um, I mean, no. Some people are extremely good, like memory athletes, people who have broken records and memory records and things like that. They can memorize, visualize anything. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to do tens of thousands of words in a row to memorize. But for normal people, you'll have words that you can't memorize, and for those, you just skip them and learn them in context, right? As long as you learn everything, as if out of 100 words you can memorize 50 with associations, and then you listen and you yeah and you repeat sentences aloud and stuff, everything else you learn it in context anyway. So we have New York suru. The suru is always the same in every verb. So New York suru, and then we've got input. Steve Kaufman here. So we're going to visualize New York, like for example, the Statue of Liberty. But the Statue of Liberty in New York, like, see the, like, this is the bay, whatever it's called, there with the ship arriving, and then you see the city in the background. But the Statue of Liberty is actually Steve Kaufman, and he's talking to you, and he's doing his usual "Hello there, Steve Kaufman here. Today we're going to talk about language learning, importance of input, and blah blah blah." And he's talking about input, right? So you visualize it, and that's it. You probably remember this. So yeah, easy. In 3 days, we'll see it again. Sakujos to do. Fairu Sakujos to do. Um, I don't have one for this. Delete. Delete a file. Okay. So yeah, Fairu is file. Um, so delete a file. How can delete is easy. There are different ways of visualize. The image we'll use for delete will depend on what we find for this. But Sakujo, can you think of something that sounds like that? For me, this would be. I'll break it up in 2 words. Saku reminds me of Kazushi Sakuraba, who was an MMA fighter, like really, really old school. He was back in the day when the UFC wasn't the main thing. It was Pride Fighting Championship in Japan. It was the coolest thing ever. If you like fighting sports and MMA, go watch Pride. It was like the WWE but with real fights. It was and with like a Japanese flavor, and it was like the UFC mixed with WWE mixed with like Tekken and this kind of fighting video games. It was the coolest thing ever. And Sakuraba was Japanese fighter. He was a pro wrestler actually. He was really good at fighting. And he fought all those Brazilian guys and jiu-jitsu guys, and he beats most of them. He was a character, and he was really good. So it's very easy to visualize. If you use this kind of like athletes or characters from films or famous people, it's easy. Obviously, you don't have to use mine. Use people that you know, not people that I know. I'm just giving you examples of. I'm just showing you how I do it. And then, I mean, just any kind of Joe, anyone called Joe, could be Joe Biden. So just Sakur. I was gonna say Joe Frazier, but no, I actually like Frazier. So, when is he still alive? Well, he was a cool guy. The one who fought Ali. Yeah, I've got a friend called Joe as well. But I like him as well. So maybe, yeah, let's use Joe Biden. And this is not me. I'm not voting, by the way, because I don't vote in the US. But I don't like either of the options. But anyway, no politics here. So Joe Biden, Sakuraba deletes Joe Biden. So it's just, let's say, takes one of those big rubber bands. No rubber bands. What do you call it? The rubber thing to, like, when you're writing with a pencil. A rubber, right? Yeah. It takes one of those and just like completely erases Biden. And you have to visualize it. Obviously, you can't visualize it if you don't know. I suppose you know who Joe Biden is, but if you don't know who this guy is, Sakuraba. Anyway, it's easy to visualize for me. And then Fido, that's file. But you could visualize a file and then a fair or fairy or, yeah, something like that, but not necessary. If the words that are English words pronounced the Japanese way, no need to. 存在する。その問題は存在する。Um, this problem. 問題 is problem. We just associate it with Monday. Sonsei. I don't remember. Exist. Okay, this is not an easy one. Sonsei is, kind of sounds like sensei. I know it's not exactly the same thing. I know sensei means teacher, but sonsei, similar enough. To exist, what was the philosopher? I was like, I think, therefore I exist, or something like that. So sensei, let's just visualize a sensei. Maybe sensei Steven Seagal. I like to use Steven Seagal because he's very he's very goofy and big, fat, and easy to visualize and easy to remember, and fun to make dumb stories with. Otherwise, whatever. If you go to a martial arts gym, visualize your sensei, but or Mr. Miyagi or whatever. So Steven Seagal, sensei, and then you see sensei and sonsei. It's sonsei. It's not exactly the same thing, but they're close enough and exist. And we see Steven Seagal as always. Uh, well, as always, I don't consider him a philosopher, but he always tried to sound really deep with his. When I was in Japan, lived there. Yeah, he tries to do this like deep philosophical mystical thing, and he's just talking nonsense. But anyway, I can easily visualize him doing the like, I think, therefore I exist, and he's giving the emphasizing the exist. Anyway, we'll see. Let's see in 10 minutes if I remember it. Another thing we could have done with that is Monday, Sono Monday, Sonsai Suru. So Sensei to Monday. So Steven Seagal waking up really grumpy on a Monday because he's got a problem. That also could work, but that's for the whole sentence. Anyway, tsukao, konodogu o konodogu o tsukao. My pronunciation's getting good. Huh? No, it's not, but still, it's fun to try. Tsukao, that should be, what is that? I know dogu is tool. Tsukao, I don't know that one. Use. Okay, that's use. How do you visualize? Yeah, I know tool is dog. Is just visualize a dog using tools from a toolbox. You'll remember that. Tsuko sounds like suka, like bitch in Russian. It's like suka bliat. That's when they're swearing, which is all the time. Some of them, not all of them. So yeah, this kind of looks like U.S. So a bunch of visualize a bunch of Russians and they see the U.S. flag and they're like suka, and that's it. See in a few minutes if I remember it. Iko, gakko ni iko. Go to school. Go to school. And I visualized Goku in school, and I don't really remember what I visualized for this, but it clearly worked. Tsuika suru. Didn't I just do this one? Listo ni nama tsuika suru. Um, Add your name. This is name. Add your name to the list. Add a name to the list. Huh. This is confusing. Tayo suru. Kurimu ni tayo suru. Kurimu is car. This is, I guess, drive. Tayo. But I don't remember. No. No. Scheiße. No. The Ka was something similar, but it wasn't exactly the same. But it was like Kurim, something like that. So sometimes this happens. Yeah, now I remember. This I visualized as Mercenary Tao, the like the Chinese looking guy, the bad guy from Dragon Ball, was wearing pink, and it was like this first serious bad guy in Dragon Ball. Uh, I think that the first buddy that was actually dangerous. Okay, just I can visualize that guy in a. No, I remember it from previous time, but yeah, respond just giving a press conference, responding to questions. Like, is there next question? And then it's response. This is complaint. So, Karim, Karim, Karim Benzema, for example, football player, soccer player, uh, complaining, which he probably does a lot. Uh, tend to be those guys tend to be pretty entitled and spoiled. I guess if you're rich and famous, I mean, we'll get there. We'll see. Anyway, we'll see in a few minutes if I remember this. Shitte Basho shitte mm, specify location. Yeah, and I don't really remember. I used bus for this. And this is location, and then to specify this. I mean, I just got rid of the last last two letters and just like specifications of the feces, and it's just like a specification chart for it. And that's it. Naru. Isha ni naritai. Naru. Become. Become. I know this is become. I don't know the word. I mean, if you just know the verb, it's already good enough. But I want to be a doctor, so Isha is Isha. Ish. Okay, that's mental image for doctor. And the first one that came to mind was the doctor from Family Guy for some reason. I haven't watched the stuff in a decade or whatever. Um, okay. Ish. Ash. No. Some- ish. Sometimes sometimes you just can't find anything. It's also more difficult when I'm on camera and stuff. When I'm on my own without having to entertain people and without only using English, it's way easier. Become, yeah, I remember it anyway. It become is Naru, so let's go. And yeah, Naru is skin in Basque, so that's how I did it. And then become, be, uh, yeah, I don't remember exactly what I did, but it worked clearly. Seigyo through. Kono shistemo wa ondo seigyo through. This should be seigyo through. Control. Control. And this was this. Shistemo wa ondo. I don't remember the whole sentence, but I know this control. The system controls the temperature. Ah, Shisutemo, that's system. Yeah, okay. This system. I say doing this kind of thing, you also, I know this is this. Uh, system ondo. So ondo is temperature. Okay. So ondo is good in Basque. So I'll just see like a thermometer, and then someone asks, well, how's the temperature? And well, there's a spa here nearby that I go to, so I just visualize myself there, and then someone asking, "How's the temperature?" And I give a thumbs up, and and I see the thermometer in the sauna. Let's see if it 10 minutes I remember. Shutsuryokusuru. Kekka o shutsuryokusuru. No idea what this is. Output. Output. Mm, how do we visualize output? Results. So this is Kekka is results. Results. How do we visualize Kekka? Kek. Kekka. Cake. Cake. Kike. Um, Cake is good. Uh, but then how do you? Okay, maybe visualize a doctor bringing the results, and the good results, like you healthy, so then they give you a cake. Not the best one. Hmm. Would say. Shutsuryoks. This is a difficult one because it's long and also output is a. How do you visualize output? Uh, in a factory and there's output and the boxes coming out, but that's very vague and hard to remember. So out, yeah, kick someone out. Um, this is going to be very so. So this was with another A here. Puta is whore in Spanish. So okay, maybe kick someone out. That's then something a place for this. Shoots. This is a long one. So shoots. Okay, let's go. Let's use films. You remember the film Charlie Sheen, Hot Shots? So shots, and then Rocky. So they. So Rocky's there in his gym with a bunch of horse putas, and then Charlie Sheen with the hot shots looked like he looked like a. It was like a Rambo parody. No, the first one was a Top Gun parody. Second one was a Rambo parody. And he shows up in Rocky's gym and kicks the putas out. Very complicated. Yeah, normally shouldn't be. Okay, let's see. Uh, Yeah, let's review it in 10 minutes. Eru. Joho eru tame nihon no yemo. By the way, if the kind of crap that I come up with offends you, sorry, but this is this stuff should be you should have some edge to it. Otherwise, if it's bland and vanilla and just everyday stuff and just meh, it's much less likely that you remember it. It's your brain's wired that way. So if it's really weird and unusual or shocking or gross or violent or sexual, you're much more likely to remember it, right? And B, when you create associations, visualize the thing, actually imagine it, because images are better than words for remembering. Eru. Yo eru tame ni Hon's book. Eru. I think I know this one. Um, no, I don't think so. Get. Get the book to get. Read the book to get information. Okay. Get. Anything for this? Can think of Edo, which is crazy in my language. This is the advantage of speaking multiple languages and knowing hundreds of thousands of words. That you can find more stuff. But you'll get there. You just keep trying. get, gate, gato is cat in Spanish. Okay. I know a guy who's, everyone says, I mean, no, he's like, they call him that to his face. So that guy gets in a cat. He for his birthday, and he's there, and he's whatever he lives. I don't want to imagine where he lives, and yeah, he gets his family gets him a cat, un gato, for his birthday. Let's go with that. And I can't really do this because apart from this, maybe it's get information, book, read. But I'm not sure, so I can't really do them. 実行する。プログラムを実行する。Execute the program. Yeah, no, execute. Just find someone that sounds like this. Jake, Jake, and visualize that guy being executed. That's it. 送信する。メールを送信する。送信。Send. Send an email. This was SOS and then Shin and then send and then Meru is email. For this, yeah, SOS, stress signal, and Shin. So they send a stress signal, and because nobody's listening to them, they end up sending a Shin, like a person's part of the leg. You just send it in a box as a stress signal, so they take them seriously. It's stupid, but I remember it. Okay, easy. Miru. There you go, Miru. Watch a film. Easy. 持ちる。新しい技術を持ちる。Use a new technology. Use a new technology. Yep. So mochila is a rucksack in Spanish. So rucksack with a big US flag there. Easy for US use. And then atarashi is to it's new. So something that's new, but inside is trash. Visualize it trash. And Gijutsu for technology, it's easier. Some do jujitsu on a gi, but like it's all like a cyborg or something like high tech. That's it. That one's easy. You. 彼はありがとうと言った。To say. He said in the past goodbye. Oh shit, no. Oh, that was stupid. I think it's what arigato is one of those. I actually hadn't visualized it. Okay, arigato is thank you. Uh, yeah, sayonara is. Yeah, it just had a moment of. So you, it was a political party in Spain, and just say just visualizing, talking and talking. That's all they do, right? And then ita uh, for the past. What I did is, you remember the IT crowd, the TV series from a while ago? It was a comedy. It was the guy with the afro, the girl, and the Irish guy, I think. And they worked in the IT department, and they were all nuts. Just visualize them with a time machine, and they go to the past. That way, I know that this is in the past. Right. Tsukao. Konodugo tsukao. This was use this tool. Yeah. 存在する。その問題は存在する。Sensei, sensei. This problem exists. The problem exists. Okay, kono is this and sono is that. Okay. But yeah, I remember this. You see? It works. Tsukasuru. Ristoni nama tsukasuru. Add a name to the list. 対応する。クレームに対応する。Uh, respond to a complaint. Yeah? Okay, so Mitsu Gakori. Water turns into ice. That's from a few days ago. I memorized it. So basically, yeah, I'm gonna stop here because it's been half an hour already. It's a long video. This is, and I do it much more efficiently if I'm doing it on my own and not just talking. So this is how you do it. You just get a number of, uh, like either set a timer or set a number, like a target number of associations you want to hit that day, and just don't stop until you do the whole thing. And if it's too difficult, okay, then try again later. But I recommend short bursts. Instead of doing this, you just set a timer, do 10 minutes of it really intensely. Don't talk, just like visualize, go, 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 and stop. A quick, take a short rest and try again, and do short bursts of 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 4 times, 5 times, 10 times if you really if you're doing it full time. But yeah, short bursts, super concentrated, and do this. And this combined with lots of listening will take your comprehension to the next level very quickly. By the end of not this month, by the end of the first month, it didn't start the 1st of September, but so in a couple more weeks, by the end of this first month, I expect to understand a decent amount when I'm listening. And yeah, we'll see. But by the end of the 3 month period, I will have learned 20,000 words at least. Not this technique with 20,000 of them, although that would be doable. 20,000 divided by 90, that would be, how much is that? 200, 220 or something like that. It's doable, but more than that, what I do is creating mass. I'm working on it, the mass sentence list, and keep doing this with 100 a day minimum, then way more some days if I've got the time, and then loads of reviewing the list. Keep in mind that if you listen to the sentences and then to native speaker content as well, but mostly the sentences over and over, and then you shadow them, you repeat them aloud. You don't need to do this with each and every word. It's enough to, so as long as you know enough of the sentence, that's where the input aspect actually works really well. If you know 8 words out of 10 in a sentence, you'll remember the last two pretty well. Maybe not the first time, but if you review the same list a few days in a row, yeah. So combine this with lots of reviewing, lots of shadowing, lots of listening, and you can learn tens of thousands of words in a few months easily. And then you understand everything, right? It's not that complicated, really. It's memorize words, then get the input. Memorize more words, get the input, and get the input by listening and actively. So shadowing, which is input and output at the same time. That's what input's good for. Just reviewing what you memorize, and then because you start in the puzzle with a lot of the pieces already put in there, so yeah, you don't have to stop and you don't have to pause it and look at words, anything like that. Always go through the vocab list of whatever you're going to listen to and memorize the vocab first. So then it's much more comprehensible and enjoyable and easier, right? Anyway, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow with the 2 week update.